Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 14 of Pat's Nation Nightly. My name is Zach, as always, co-hosted by Ben. Ben, happy draft week. How are you doing on this fine evening?
Yeah, it's an exciting time, right? This is the last kind of exciting event of the NFL offseason before training camp gets underway in the summer. We've had the Combine, we've had all the All-Star games, the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, all of that sort of stuff. We've had all the build-up for months and months on this draft, and now all you can do is just sit back and wait for it to actually happen. There's a ton of questions surrounding basically everyone besides Caleb Williams to the Bears. That's kind of the only lock right now. The Commanders between Jaden Daniels and Drake May, maybe J.J. McCarthy's in there now. The Patriots obviously at 3, with reports saying it would take a ginormous haul for them to move back. That's something we will explore in this mock draft episode edition when we do our very own mock draft, Zach and I, in a few minutes. I have my computer right here set up, and we are kind of going to take it through a 7-round mock draft. We'll kind of collaborate on picks together, and this would be as realistic as possible if we were in the Patriots draft room making the decisions for these players.
Yeah, in these last couple of days, really like the last day and a half, there's been, like you said, a lot more of a rumor mill about the Patriots potentially trading down. It seems like staying and sticking and picking at number 3 is still the most likely scenario, but there has been some momentum for a trade down. And in that case, the Patriots would likely try to get a haul and then go for Michael Penix Jr., but we'll see how that turns out on Thursday night, and also in our mock draft coming up here in just a couple of minutes. And
Yeah.
I guess with that, do you have anything else that
I was
want
just
to
going to
go
add,
into?
I don't really care. Obviously, I have my opinions on who the Patriots should draft, what to do. But the main thing is for everyone on the Patriots who are making these decisions, those big decision makers, Matt Groh and Elliott Wolf and Gerard Mayo and Alex Van Pelt, they all have to be on board with a quarterback or a starship player that they want to draft. It should be a unanimous decision when it comes to Thursday night, and it should be one they feel confident in. And if not, trade back. It's going to take a lot to trade back, and my reasoning right now is you're going to need at least 3 first-round picks. If you trade with someone, let's say like outside the top 6, so that excludes the New York Giants. So if you trade with Minnesota or Oakland, those are probably the main 2, is Oakland and Minnesota. Minnesota being the top, especially if the Commanders stay put at 2, they're going to be looking to get that quarterback within either J.J. McCarthy or Jaden Daniels, Drake May, whoever is available.
Yeah, you said it best. In my opinion, I think the Patriots might prefer to trade down, and that's not like I don't have people telling me that. Like, that's not a sourced report. It's just my opinion. I think that they want to trade down, but they haven't gotten the offer there. And that was a report earlier today. I forget who it was from. Might have been Rappaport. that the Patriots just are yet to get they're yet to get a serious offer. So we'll see how it turns out. You never really know until the pick is in or until the pick is traded. And with that, I think should we jump right into the mock draft?
Yeah, totally. Let's get right into
All
it.
right. So we're going to be going with the Patriots. You have
Make
the
sure, can you see
Lions
my
selected
mouse
too.
moving?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so Patriots and not the Lions, 7 rounds, and we'll go fast, and here we go.
Sure.
Let's start
Let's
it
do
up. So, as we envisioned, Caleb Williams to the Bears, Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. That is
Yep.
probably the most likely scenario right now. On the board, of course, you have the best quarterbacks available, Drake May and JJ McCarthy. And then you have Marvin Harrison and basically everyone else besides, obviously Williams and Daniels. If we look at our trade offers, we have with the Giants, so we would be getting pick 6, pick 47, and pick 166. And from Pittsburgh, we'd be getting pick 20, pick 51, pick 84, pick 98, and a Pittsburgh second. We can make a counter offer, or we can try to trade with the Vikings and initiate that. What do you want to do, Zach?
I want to experiment with trading down, and I don't think a trade would get accepted by the simulator just because it's sometimes a bit iffy. But I want to try. I don't know if you can force trade on Pro Football Network, but
I don't
at
think you
least
can.
try to get a. We can work with it. I would want to see
Minnesota?
probably Minnesota.
Okay, so let's go to Minnesota, and let's do, okay, so we do 3, 11, and 23, maybe, and a first next year. That's not going to be accepted, but we can also.
Yeah, and I do think in real life it's going to take more than that. I think it would be 3 for 11, 23, 129, a first, and maybe a second the year after. But for this, I would probably throw in 129, take just so it gets accepted. Throw in 129, take out the Minnesota first from next year, and then I would just add in all of like the Patriots picks next year, just so we know it, or like add in the Patriots next year first round pick, just so it gets accepted. But
Okay,
the real
agreed.
trick, the real trade is 3 for 11, 23, 129, a 2025 first round pick from the Vikings, and a 2026 second round pick from the Vikings.
Okay.
And that still got rejected. We can try it again and just
So
add
let's
in
just
more.
do.
Yeah. See, this is the difficult part. Take out the Minnesota 2025 first. That should get accepted.
Okay.
There we go.
So now we trade back to 11, pick at 11 here, and we have JJ McCarthy. I mean, I would say pull the trade. Oh, we also have Wilme Oduze. So what do you want? Penix McCarthy.
So I want to respect the board because I don't think McCarthy will be there at pick 11.
Who would he go to?
I think the Broncos would trade up with, whoever it may be, but I don't see him being on the board at pick 11. If he's there, you pull the trigger. But I would say, I think I'd have to say Odunze. I think I would go with Odunze, and then I would, after the pick, I would maybe pause it for a second just to see if we can work back up for Penix. Because there's no guarantee he'll be there at 23.
Okay. So JJ McCarthy went to Oakland.
Yep.
I think we can wait till 23 to get Penix.
Yeah. No, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Boom.
So get Penix. There's your quarterback.
And let's just talk about that for a second as well. Michael Penix Jr. has been rumored to the Patriots a lot recently because of the possibility of trading down. He Before 30 visits, he really had no contact with the Patriots. He had no like pre-draft meetings, nothing at like the combine, or at least nothing reported at the combine, at the Senior Bowl, and the Patriots didn't have a lot of coaches at his pro day at Washington, so hadn't been a lot of contact with him, and then he was reportedly a late addition to 30 visits. They didn't really plan on having him come in until late, and then they invited him in, and now the rumors are going. So, I mean, Ben, what do you think about Penix?
Yeah, he's not definitely not at the top of my list, but again, if the Patriots like him, I mean, you got to pull the trigger. That's someone who I've heard who I've been just talking with people kind of the last couple of days about someone who could fly under the radar, and Penix is a name that gets brought up. Of someone who has all the traits. Obviously, his injury history is there, but that's not something that is really worrying teams. That's something that he's done a really, really good job about kind of explaining and working through. Obviously, he sent that all the GMs this letter from the Players Tribune, kind of saying like, like a lot of players come back from these injuries a different type of guy. I was not one of those players. I came back stronger. So that was a great move by him. I think if he won that sorry, not the national champion. I think if he won
Yeah,
against if he won against
Michigan,
Texas, sorry, Michigan,
Michigan.
Michigan, he did win against Texas. I'm wearing my Texas Longhorns sweatshirt today. If he won against JJ McCarthy and Michigan in the national championship, we would be having a whole different conversation right now. I think that game did him a lot of damage, but undeservingly so. He still had a fantastic season. He's definitely experienced. So I like the pick, and you kind of like burying the lead right here. You pair him up with his number one receiver, Romeo Duce.
Yeah, you reunite him with his wide receiver one, Odunze, one of the uh, best prospects in this class, obviously, and just such an elite receiver. This receiver class is just insane. Those top three guys with Harrison Jr., Neighbors, and Odunze are generational talent. Gets thrown out a lot, gets thrown around, but honestly, all three of them are pretty close to generational talents. So, they already have the chemistry there. They've played football together for a few years at Washington, and now they get to reunite in the league in our little scenario.
Yeah. So moving on right here, we have pick 34, the original Patriots second round pick, and I see two guys that are standing out to me right now, but none other than Arizona's Jordan Morgan. You need a tackle. So I would say just get him right now. Especially looking at the other guys available. I mean, there's a pretty big drop off after Jordan Morgan, so I would want to get him.
Yeah, I'd say Jordan Morgan or Patrick Paul. They're both very good prospects. I would lean towards Morgan, but you really can't go wrong there. And the Patriots now, if they were to trade down, they don't have to pick between going with receiver, going offensive tackle at pick 34 because
Because they
they're
have
going to
both.
have an opportunity. Yeah, they're going to be able to get
Exactly.
an elite one with pick 11, whether that be Romo Dunze at wide receiver, maybe Neighbors falls there, or it could be Olu Fashanu, uh, JC Latham, Amarius Mims maybe at offensive tackle with pick 11. Either way, you're going to be able to pair up two very good talents at each of those positions if they were to trade down. So
Yeah.
I
So,
really like Jordan Morgan there.
all right, we're getting him.
All right. I mean, I'd say successful so far. Obviously, we're still pretty early, but getting a top three receiver in this class, a top 5 quarterback, I'd say, in the class, in such a strong quarterback class too. and then getting a really solid offensive tackle that's what they need, and it's worked out really well so far.
I like this offer from the Bengals, moving down 12 slots but going to the third next year.
Let's do it. I
Cause
like it.
just like yeah, cause you're not like pressing for a need right now.
Yeah.
So we go to 80, and let's look who's available. Um, Again, a couple good options. I don't think Cole Bishop's gonna last. I also don't think the Patriots should get a
Yeah, he
safety
won't.
this early. Um, it's
Do
kind
you
of like
double dip at receiver?
correct. That's what I was gonna say. But you can also I like the late round receiver options more than I like these guys.
Yeah,
Unless we
that's fair.
go like this range, 134 to like 201, I really like.
Yeah, I like Baker. I think Baker at 146 is really low. Like I think he'll probably go top 100, maybe like
Yeah.
top 80 even. So picking him at 80 wouldn't be a reach. I'd also probably look at tight end. And yeah, I mean the Patriots could use another tight end. If Sanders is on the board there,
You want to get him?
that's it.
I would.
Do you think he's going to be there in real life? Like in dirt for the actual draft, will he go that far? Because that's good value. I think I'd go with it.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep, yep.
Sorry about that. Okay.
You're good.
I mean, he's available right now. Like, honestly, I don't know how accurate this is, but like, I don't know how accurate any of this is. Like Michael Penix may not be even available. We're at 23 right now, so I think we just pull it and pretend he is available.
Sure, let's do it. So looking at Dane would Dane I don't want to mispronounce his name. Is it Brugers?
Mm-hmm.
The from the Athletic. He has Sanders ranked as the number 2 tight end in this class, graded as a second to third round player, and number 57 overall. So 80 is definitely very good value if he's on the board. And yeah, I mean that's a position of need for the Patriots because the players that they have at tight end after Hunter Henry are not really the best. So if Sanders is there, I think they would have to go with him.
Okay, then let's get Sanders.
Let's do it.
103 now.
What was the offer? I missed it. I mean, that's a good offer, but is it
Mm.
that's kind of a lot to give up for pick 103. So I wouldn't take it just because I don't think it's a realistic offer.
I want to get
Looking
an. I
at
think I mean I really like Delmar Goulet. I like these running backs, but I think we can get one of them later. Devontae Sweat obviously has off the field issues, but I like him. Pooney's good.
let's look
Kalen
at
King.
this. Isn't a bad spot for Jalix Hunt, who had a 30 visit with the Patriots. Patriots could use some help at the edge position. Most of their players are not under contract for next season, so that could be a spot for Jalix Hunt potentially. I think it would be more realistic at 129 though. What else?
So
I
what do you
mean,
want?
let's look. Can you go back up?
Yeah.
Let's just search by defense because I think this is where they kind of start to flip the switch towards defensive players. Maybe Jaden Hicks,
Cam Hutt. I really like Cam
Cam
Hutt.
Hart. So the thing, in my opinion, I
Jordan
do like.
Jefferson.
Yeah, I would prefer not drafting a cornerback for the Patriots
Why?
because I think their issue, or I mean, maybe someone in like the 6th or 7th round, but their issue in the cornerback room isn't that they don't have good enough players, it's that they don't have veterans. So I would much rather prefer that they go out and sign Stephon Gilmore or sign, I
I
don't know
mean,
every corner on the market right now, but somebody
they
who
also.
will bring a veteran presence rather than another really young name in that room.
I mean, if you look at the depth chart, though, Jonathan Jones, he's 31, right? Adrian Phillips is some. I keep saying Adrian Phillips like he's on the team. Kaya Duggar only signed a 1-year contract. Jabril Peppers is only he's a free agent next year. Again, he's a safety, but Cam Hart is someone who has experience playing safety. Then you have, I'm trying to think of the depth chart. So then you have obviously Christian Gonzalez and Alex Austin, Marco Wilson, um, Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones. I mean, I
Yeah,
still
but
think they need that boundary cornerback, you know?
let's do it.
I mean,
Let's do it. Let's go corner.
who else would you want on the defensive side right now? Like, I don't think they need a
I would
linebacker.
probably look more at safeties, right? Like, I mean, Tyke Smith.
He's
Those are all
Jaden
good
Hicks.
names. It's tough. I think this is especially where the draft gets difficult because, like,
I
now
mean,
at this point, it's just drafting for positions that you like don't need desperately. You're not drafting a receiver, quarterback, offensive tackle, uh, like plug and play day one guy, but you are still drafting and picking between positions of need that are just not as urgent. But let's go Cam Hart. I think you talked
okay.
me into it. I think you scrolled past him. Yeah, 130. We're right back at 129. I think
So
now is
Jalex
make
Hunt and Dylan Laube is still available.
Hunt is. I think the Laube role is not as needed now with the Antonio Gibson signing. So I would probably lean towards Jalex Hunt at 129.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not. I like it, but not for realistic. Uh, not. I don't think it's a realistic trade.
If we're looking at receivers, trying to Brendan Rice and Javon Baker are still available.
Yeah, but they won't be. That's the tough thing. I think you. I would probably skip on receiver at this one. Try to go Bub Means later on.
Really? I mean,
Yeah, I would probably go for him at 180. He's
what's your rationale though for not taking Rice or Baker?
honestly just that I don't think they'll be on the board at
All right.
137. I want to keep it somewhat realistic. I don't see either of them being on the board this late.
So what do you want to do?
Maybe running back. Lauby still on the board. Ray Davis, Marshawn Lloyd. You're a big Marshawn Lloyd guy, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much he'll fit in the Patriots offense.
Hmm.
It's kind of on the 5'8", 220. I like this guy a lot, Isaac Guendo.
9.9 RAS score. I mean, that's very impressive.
Who do you
I
want?
think running back's the pick, and I mean, if you like him, then might as well. He is ranked the 12th best running back in the class, again by Dane Bruger. I don't want to mispronounce it again, but 12th best running back in the class, which gives him a grade of One second. Fourth to fifth round grade. So this is right around where he would be graded as. Uh, just I think it's a good pick. Patriots could use more running back depth, and he seems like a guy who could hop in and play. Let's go with Isaac Gurendo.
Okay.
And then with 180 coming up, I think that's where you double dip at receiver. That's where he's going to be available because he's not graded high on here. But I would say this is where you go with Bub Means. It's probably a reach based on this, but he is a receiver from Pitt. He's worked a lot with Taekwon Underwood, and there obviously is a connection there. So he seems like he'll be a Patriot. It's just a matter of where they're able to pick him. And 180,
Yeah.
I think, is a good spot. Got two more picks left.
In and out. Let's see if there are any more tackles that are worth. Travis Glovo is someone I know the team was interested in at one point.
He had a 30 visit. I think he met with them at the Hula Bowl.
Hula Bowl.
Yeah. I asked him about that. I think he said the Hula Bowl.
Christian Boyd is someone I've talked with who is interested. The Patriots are interested. Shahib Still, he's someone I really like. I'm trying to look.
Where's
Sione Vaki still available?
I'd be shocked if Vaki's on. He's ranked really low on here. I'd be surprised if he's on the board at 129 even, 103.
Okay, but we got that safety.
We didn't get a safety. We got Cam Hart.
Didn't?
And I think Mark Perry is. Yeah, that would be my choice. It wasn't reported that he had a 30 visit, if I'm not mistaken.
He met with the Patriots 4 times, I think.
Yep, he met with them, I believe, for dinner, and then had some virtual Zoom meetings as well. So seems like somebody the Patriots are targeting, and could be a good late round addition to the safety room that is really lacking a lot of depth. I mean, you got Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers. Duggar on, I believe, a 3-year deal now with the extension, but Peppers going into a contract year now. And then after them, there's really not a lot of core safeties. It's mostly specialists. So I think Mark Perry, just bring him in, giving more depth to that corner or to that safety room, excuse me. That's what they have to do. They got to just keep building on there.
Yeah. So now at the last pick 231.
Here they can really go with anything. I mean, this is just like a glorified spot to get a undrafted free agent before he hits undrafted free agency. So, I mean, they got a running back, double dipped at receiver. Kicker is, yeah. You see it. Joshua Carty out of Stanford. Really good kicker. There's not much to say there. If you're good at kicking a football, then you are worthy of a draft pick. Patriots obviously have Chad Ryland, who I think can have success, but this past year was very inconsistent. Let's just say that. And that's it. We got Romo Dunze to summarize. Romo Dunze and Michael Penix Jr. with the 11th and 23rd picks after trading down. Stuck at pick 34 in the second round to get Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle out of Arizona. Traded down from 68 to get Jatavion Sanders, and then got Cam Hart, Jalix Hunt, Isaac Gurendo, Bub Means, Mark Perry, and Joshua Carty, along with netting the Cincinnati Bengals third-round pick for next year.
Yeah. I definitely like the draft. The Patriots hit all of the needs that they needed to draft. They started with that receiver who can be an instant wide receiver one on the team, right? Obviously, then they draft that quarterback who has a ton of experience playing with him, in Michael Penix. Then you go tackle, tight end, cornerback, which are three of your following positions that you need to hit in this draft. And you get players basically in the top 10 of every position in that position. Jordan Morgan is a top 10 tackle in this draft. Probably even top 5, top 10 tackle, but Sanders is probably a top 5 tight end. Cam Hart is someone who's going to be a top 10 defensive back. Jalen Hunt, like you said, was an edge. Matthew Judon going to hit free agency. He's getting up in age. Jelani Tavai is a free agent at the end of the season, so definitely someone who's good to have on a rookie contract. Then we go running back and then double dip at receiver and Bob Means. We've talked about that. And end with a safety in Mark Perry and Joshua Carty. A big theme with all this draft is, for the most part, these players have met with the Patriots or have had 30 visits with the Patriots. I think every single player on this board has met with the Patriots or have had a 30 visit with the team. And that's something you usually see around 90% of the players, probably at team drafts, will have that contact with the team beforehand.
Yeah, the only one who I'm not sure about is, have they had contact with Rome Odunze?
Yeah, they met.
I don't
They met.
remember
He met at the combine.
at the combine, because that's what would throw me away from the idea of trading down a little bit, or just the possibility of it, I guess, is that the Patriots really haven't had any visits with players who would be candidates to take if they were to trade down. They haven't really talked with like a Malik Neighbors, or like they've had some contact, but nothing too substantial. Or with Roma Dunze, Olu Fashanu. I mean, there's a bunch of guys there who Malik Neighbors. I don't think I mentioned him. Just they haven't talked a ton with them, and I think that makes it a bit less likely that they would trade down. But still, anything can happen. You don't know until draft night, so I think that's about it.
Yeah. And again, we're gonna be back on here after the draft, I assume. Not after the whole draft, after round one of the draft. Maybe we would do an emergency episode in between, depending on if any big news happens tonight or tomorrow about the Patriots, about the draft, about any of that. So definitely follow on Twitter, on Instagram, or wherever you get your information from, and keep updated with the show. It's definitely going to be a busy 100 hours, I guess. I don't even know. 86 hours, 96
48.
hours.
48.
Well, 48, and then for 3 days.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
that's true.
so it's just going to
That's a
be a
good
lot
point.
of, yeah, it's going to be a lot of news and reports, rumors, all that sort of stuff. So thank you, everyone. This was a shorter show, I know, only 35 minutes, but we just wanted to do a final mock draft. No one really gets these mock drafts 100% accurate, let alone the first round alone. So it's definitely something that just take with a grain of salt. A lot of the people mock drafts you see on Twitter, they're going to be 95% wrong, 99% wrong, you know? We'll be lucky if one of these players gets drafted by the Patriots. So it's fun. No other draft is like this, right? The MLB draft, the NBA draft, nothing compares to the NFL draft. It's going to be an exciting time. Like I said, a long week, but it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, the best week of the year, in my opinion. Well, Super Bowl week, but for the Patriots nowadays, best week of the year, in my opinion. So,
And before we go, we do have some news.
do it.
We do, but it's from 2 hours ago. Don't worry, I'm not breaking
Oh, okay.
anything right now.
Okay.
The Patriots very insignificant news, I must say. But as the transaction wire says, and as Mike Leafs reported 2 hours ago, the Patriots had linebacker Cam Gill in for a workout today. And I'm only bringing this up because the Patriots roster is only at 78 players, I think, right now. Wait, no.
71.
71, yeah.
71. Yep.
71 players, which is one of the fewest in the league. Most of these teams are up to the high 70s, low 80s. So I'm bringing this up because that leaves a lot of room for undrafted free agents. So after the draft, next week especially, this time of year, this week especially, teams are constantly on phones with agents, just trying to get a sense of if their player is going to be drafted, and if not, can they get signed to a free agent deal after the draft. Patriots are obviously making room for those undrafted free agent signings. I would predict at this time 6 to 10 players probably get signed by the Patriots after the draft. You got eight. How many draft picks you have? 12, 8, 8?
8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was 8. 8 draft picks. That just brings you up. You're still 12 short. 11 short. 11 short. 11 short, right? I'm not going crazy.
11.
11.
11.
Yeah. You're still 11 short. So that leaves you 6 to 10 players to kind of mess with. And Cam Still is a linebacker. He used to play at Tampa Bay. I think mid 20s. Someone who can get signed by the Patriots after they figure out how many of those roster spots are going to be used. Obviously, the team will not draft 20 players, but they might draft more than 8.
Yeah, they have a lot of spots left for undrafted free agents just to fill out the roster, like you said, and maybe that's what Gerard Mayo meant when he said he's ready to burn some cash. Is go out and sign a bunch of undrafted free agents, because I mean their contracts are also usually bigger than players who get drafted in the last couple of rounds, just because it's a bidding war for the undrafted free agents, whereas it's a fixed salary for the draft picks. But anyways, that doesn't matter too much. Just wanted to get that out there. But with that, thank you all for listening to episode 14, Pats Nation Nightly. The NFL draft starts in 48 hours, 20 minutes, and 25 seconds. So, what a time to be alive. It's 7 o'clock, right? Not 8? Or is it 8?
It's
Oh, it might be 8
6:40.
o'clock. No, I'm
No,
saying the draft.
sorry.
The draft.
The draft, yeah, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
Oh, never mind. 49 hours. I lied. Okay.
Yeah.
Point is, we're close last couple of days. And yeah, with that,
So
thank you
till
all for
next
listening.
time.
And yeah, we'll see you all probably next on Friday. Thank you all for listening.